So Johnny, have you ever wondered why we have bands on cigars?
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of legend and myth surrounding why we have cigar bands on cigars. One of the legends is that there was a Tsarita out of Russia by the name of Catherine the Great who would smoke cigars with silk bands around the cigar so that she wouldn't get her fingers dirty. And so the rest of her court followed suit and started ordering their own cigars with bands just to emulate the Tsarista. That's one legend. A second is there were gentlemen in England back in the early 1800s that would have plain white bands around their cigars, and back in that time the gentlemen would wear white gloves. So to not get their white gloves dirty, they wanted to have cigars with plain bands around them, and that's when they would hold the cigar. That band would protect their white gloves from the cigar. However, modern historians credit a gentleman by the name of Gustav Bach, who was a Dutch citizen living in Cuba making cigars, and in order to separate himself from the rest of the Cuban cigar makers, he created plain white bands with his name on the band so as to differentiate himself from the rest of the Cuban cigars. By the 1850s, every single Cuban cigar maker had cigar bands on their cigars. So what I think happened is that Mr. Gustav Bach was perhaps in jolly old England back in the 1820s, saw these gentlemen with white gloves smoking their cigars with plain white bands on them, and the light bulb went on. He had the idea, why don't I put my name on these little white bands and be different? And I think that's what happened, and that's how modern day bands started. Is it legend or fact? Who knows? But as they say, when the legend becomes fact, print the legend.